without starting Twitch. Find out.
Well, we'll see. Anyway, welcome back to my 5-year plan playthrough of RP-1, where I've just loaded my existing save with a bunch of balance changes, and we'll see what happens. Uh, how it always works. Um, so seems fine. Uh, this also has some changes from CMAV, where it's no longer relying on Magicore for date formatting. But yeah, most relevant one being the there's now more levels of astronaut complex. This astronaut complex is level 4 because that's the EVA level now. Also, I've done a thing which I think people have asked about a bunch, which is the non-upgradable buildings will now track the average upgrade state of the rest of your buildings. So you'll no longer have a mismatched hodgepodge of buildings. Except for the launch pad, which tracks the visual level of whatever the currently active launch complex is, and the runway, which is always level 3, as usual in RP-1. And R&D now doesn't have levels. And there's now the thing we talked about, which was the efficiency bonus from science, which on the whole has led to a somewhat faster research for me.
When you're saying there's no levels to the R&D building, you're saying that you've removed the researcher caps?
Yeah.
We didn't discuss that, but sure, okay.
Yeah, that was yeah, we didn't discuss that part, but that was the old issue which I was putting off until I could make larger changes. So the changes that I made were adding extra funds early from having to upgrade the astronaut complex, where it now takes a single upgrade to get to flying suborbital, and then another upgrade to get to orbital. So you have to be level 3 even to get orbital, which sucks some early funds. Researchers are now, salary is now more expensive.
Okay, makes sense. As long as
Um,
you've counterbalanced all this stuff. Like when we set a lot of these initial budgets, we looked at like maintenance pricing for that NASA pays for all its buildings and things like that as a justification why you have to pay for so much to upgrade all of these facilities.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm figuring this research team is partly salary and partly maintenance and partly everything else. Um, like I think it's just weird to like I basically agree with the criticism that the cap thing is just kind of a pain to deal with.
Sure.
Um, so yes, my budget is lower than it was because this spiked up a good deal. Um, yeah, so that's done. The other relevant thing being these these estimates now take efficient to some extent take efficiency gain into effect, which is super relevant early on, so it doesn't look like your V2 will take 5 years when it actually only takes 1.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I saw you that in dev chat that you went with numerical integration.
yeah, I mean the people who know math can give me a better version that's faster to run, but this seems fast enough because it really only matters if you have the combined tab open, which you generally only do in Space Center, where you care less about perf.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Other relevant bit being I did make the change, which you probably also saw, where now integration is blocked when you have projects active, like rollout or rollback or recovery.
Okay.
And they're split.
Cool.
Because dealing with trying to prioritize these things down here is a pain. Trying to deal with combined prioritizing them and integrations is just, I really don't want to get. But this is good enough, I think. Because generally you're only doing one thing at once.
Sure. Yeah, makes sense. I did think it would be nice to be able to pause that if you wanted to keep integrating rather than do whatever the warehouse task was, but
I mean, yeah, but yeah, we'll see if it's actually missed in practice.
sure.
My guess is it's generally not, because you're generally going to let a rollback either a rollout finish or a rollback finish.
Yep.
Because unless you have multiple pads, you have to, or the integration doesn't matter.
Yeah, sure. I agree. So I said it was just nice to
Yeah,
know.
but yeah. Yeah, I mean the other reason for pausing it would actually be to stop the launch cost from being paid. But yeah, we can. That's easy enough to add. It's more of a UI pain than anything else. Okay, so pretty sure I don't have any mission training available. But I can, no, there's nothing I, oh, the other change that I made, I did a bunch of rework to crew that I should talk about where, so I already mentioned the astronaut complex thing. It does mean that you do have to upgrade the astronaut complex to do training, so that to train for a capsule that has EVA, you have to have level 4 astronaut complex. And then these are highlighted in red because it requires a level of astronaut complex that we don't have.
It's just a different highlight color because that's difficult to read.
Yeah, I mean, if you can come up with a good one, I'll use it.
Okay. Screenshot.
Like, yellow
Adjustments.
is, yeah. Yeah, yellow is the only super nice one, and it's already used. I mean, green would also be good, but
Sends the wrong message. Yeah.
exactly. I mean, what we could do is highlight these in green, but that would significantly change muscle memory and also be like, I like that they're not. Anyway, other change being I significantly reworked astronaut salaries and everything, and training costs, so things are saner, they're more configurable. That tends to work rather better.
Yeah. By the way, I understand that suffering trying to find something that fits on the KSP long ago decided highlight gray and the low light gray on a button.
Yeah.
That was not a great UI decision way back then, but nothing blends well with it.
Yeah. Right, and then the last bit I forgot about crew was you now have to have your crew trained for everything that you're launching. So they have to have mission training for at least the part they're stuck in, and they have to be proficiency trained for everything in the vessel you're launching, and they cannot board or transfer to parts that they are not proficiency trained for. So to launch a lunar landing with a separate command module and lander module, you have to be proficiency trained in both, which was kind of the original intent. It's just never ever been enforced. Okay. So let's warp. And that's in 17 days. Oh. Why is this alarm? Oh, it's because I think I changed the times involved, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I think I changed the times involved. Well, that's the one that's correct. Okay. So we're gonna get everybody ready to go for the docking mission. Oh, I should check. I really should check. What experiments have I done? I've done flight control experiments. Let's look at the experiments on this and see if they're wasted or not. It's been so long I can't remember if I used new experiments or not. I think that's the new experiments. Nope. Why didn't food evaluation get what? That's super weird. Did food evaluation not get done?
Oh, you did it.
Yeah.
Breed.
Well, it shows I got no science from it.
Odd.
Oh, it had samples, and I bet I didn't transfer the samples.
That would do it, yeah.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yeah.
You forgot your poop in space.
No, that's not. No, that's the experiment mass, not the. Doesn't say samples. So why weren't. Why did that not complete? That's super weird. Did I do star occultation? Let's see. Yes. Power tool evaluation. Did I do you? No. You need an engineer. Good thing we're flying an engineer. I can hear your TV.
I have to go wait. Turn it off 1 second. Be right back.
Okay.
back.
Welcome back. I wonder if
Yep.
the issue maybe was something about not having crew in the part, but I think Kerbalism just cares if they're on the vessel.
Thought it was going last time we looked at it.
Yeah,
Like I
super
remember,
weird.
I don't know, commenting on something.
Yeah. Well, gonna go ahead and save these edits. Ah, it looks like you found a color. Is it sufficiently different from the existing yellow?
Yeah, because one is kind of like salmon, the other one's just a brighter orange.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I sent you the color codes on
Yep.
the left there.
Yeah, the far left one is by far the best of the two you sent.
Yeah, yeah. So I agree too.
Yeah,
That's
it's just
with,
it is visually fairly close to the existing yellow, I think.
it's not close to the yellow.
Oh,
Here
okay.
I can show you what it looks like with the yellow on the screen as well.
Oh, in my eyes, it looks. Yeah, they look almost identical to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
You, I thought
we.
you had like some blurriness, but not like a color.
Yeah, I guess I'm losing some contrast too, or something. I don't
I
know.
mean, they're definitely like similar contrast because that's how you get it to show up. But one is definitely like yellow spectrum, and the other one's more like
Yeah,
pink,
they're like
basically.
subtly different. Like one is gray, one is darker and slightly redder.
Okay.
But yeah, visually they look fairly similar to me.
I mean,
Uh,
you may want to just also add some text that says "not ready" or something like that too, for because other people will have that problem.
yeah, I think that it's tool tipped.
Yep.
Oh no, we're not tool tipping that it's unresearched. We
Yeah.
should. These we tool tip,
You could
but
also
you
just
can't do
add
it.
brackets around the ones that you can't or something like that as
Yep.
another indicator. Like dealing with all the versions of um, color blindness out there is just, like
Yeah.
you just find a second method always.
Yep. I guess I'll just fly all three of them. 118 days. Jeepers creepers. That's how long mission training takes for Soyuz? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because Voskhod was 90. So, sure. All right. Yeah, and Apollo's 150. All right. Well, looks like our engineers are going to be bored again. Um, what else do I want to build? I mean, I guess I could try to do a lunar sample return, but I don't think I have the avionics for it yet. Oh, there's some visually distinct colors. The completion rep color and then the... Oh, but I bet it's
That's
gonna
pretty
not
yellow.
show up. That's the not so good orange that won't show up.
Yeah, it's easier with this one because it's just a matte gray, so
Yep, exactly.
the purple that we're using doesn't show up super well, but still readable.
Yeah.
But one of those colors that I sent you is a little bit closer to that orange. Like the one you're using is the deep pumpkin orange. Another thing working on Kerbal taught me is how many different versions of orange there are. I think we did that April Fool's joke specifically for that. I don't know if you remember that one.
No, I basically stopped following it before you got hired, so.
No, it's okay. We did an April Jules Day joke where we claimed we were going to make Jewel orange.
Ah.
You know, when we were releasing the moving cloud stuff on Jewel.
Ah. Cool. Man, I guess I'll just idle the engineers, which will be nice for my budget.
And build
Okay.
another Soyuz. So you're not going to use that, fly another 3-person flight.
Uh, oh yeah, let me see how much confidence I need. I mean, I always need more confidence, so.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to want more than just those stuff you've got. Want for crewed lunar.
I mean, yeah, although I plan to wrap this up when Crude Lunar is done.
Okay, then. Yeah.
Because I
Don't
need
worry
to
about it.
restart fresh to test that
Fair
balance. Although getting 2,500 for this is not too bad. I just need another few hundred on top of a 500 from those. I mean, I guess my alternative is to go ahead and just take this.
Yep. I mean, I think if you're looking to wrap up, then it's fine. Just idle the engineers and have less flights.
Yeah. Yeah, from science alone, I probably can take. I probably get enough confidence to take this.
You can take it. You can take it on breakneck right now. You have enough for breakneck, lunar crewed, and geostationary. You can't take the Mars surface exploration on fast, though. maybe you could with some science gains later.
I mean, I think what I would, yeah, I mean that's what I was saying was, can I get the extra I need? Because I need like 550 confidence. Crude lunar, 10,500.
Yep.
Mars surface, yeah, so 540 confidence. Total science earned 3366. One at this point. So yeah, I just have to earn another 500 something science, which I easily can do for Mars. Given that I've landed on...
You don't even need that much since you're going to earn something from this next Soyuz flight.
Oh, science, yes. Yes, I am going to get a
Also,
bunch of science from that flight. You're not wrong.
it's an optional contract. You're also going to get...
Huh? No, it's not. It's for stocking.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You're right. Fair enough.
Yeah, and once I get that, then I'm trading in my programs and getting crude lunar, and then trading in my programs and getting crude lunar and Mars surface. All right, so let's see what's up with Mars 1. Mars 1, what's going on with you? You are... You're in Mars space high. All right, that's what's happened. So yes, you finished all your science. So now we want to go ahead and move it down to space low. Wrong alarm clock. All right. Okay. Now We have a bunch of delta V left, so oh yeah, it must almost be time for another rotation. 4 days. Actually, no, we need a longer plan than that. Oh, whoops, what am I doing? All right. All right, so we want to get whatever the
Base load. You need to know what space load is.
I think it's 6,000, 5,000, somewhere around there.
I think it's 3,000 on Mars. I'll go check 1 sec.
Okay.
Oh, it's here somewhere.
Well, I mean, 3,000 is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3,000. You're right.
It was a page in a page on our wiki, but I'm having trouble searching our wiki.
It's the space high-low command on the Discord.
Gotcha.
Bring it up. Which is what I did. All right. Let's go ahead and perform this maneuver.
It's because it's in the RSS wiki. That's why I wasn't finding it.
Oh, yeah. I wish we didn't have stuff scattered all over everywhere. Okay, now we let this run for another 90 days. Okay. Okay, that seems fine. Orbital period is 3 hours, so in 1.5 hours. Let's see what we get if we do that. All right, that's enough to put us right back into high. So we'll do that eventually. We don't need to do it now. We'll wait. Probably about 100 days. Actually, I'll do 120 to give us some good margin.
How about all your other alarms?
They were just the Glishko leader alarms.
Yeah.
And also that proficiency training thing, which I don't know why I even put there. I guess just so I wouldn't forget to start training people.
Gotcha.
Okay. Oh. Different Glishko?
Well, you had 2 alarms for the 2 different.
Yeah. Let's see, is there anybody else relevant here? Can't pick him. Yangle is -5% research. Not using balloon tanks.
I think Faget and Von Brown were the ones that you thought were.
Yeah,
also
Faget
worthwhile.
is not unreasonable.
Hopefully we're saying his name right.
I think you looked it up and we are.
Okay.
Because it's Belgian. Yeah, Von Braun is reasonable.
Born in Belize? Okay. Belizean.
I thought he was like a Belgian extraction. Belgian American or something, but born in Belize.
Probably, yeah.
Alright, so the real question is, how far away are we from researching engines? Reasonably close, so we're going to start doing it in May of 66. So yeah, six months. So I mean, we could take Von Braun for 6 months and then swap. How are we doing on rep? We're under our rep cap already.
I thought you were going to take that other one when you started researching engines as well.
Yeah, there's Glishko's Design Bureau. Which is here. Yeah, I mean, honestly, my hunch is that the rep penalty after 6 months is going to be reasonably low.
You should know you wrote the formula.
Yeah. Okay, so it's Let's see. Um, 0.2 times 0.1 over 0.5 over 10 times 0.5 plus 0.1. Okay, is 0.1585. All right, so 15.9% of my reputation to do this. I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, so I guess I'll just take him now. And then I don't have to remember. So... Oh no, I did, yeah. Yeah, I did that wrong. I calculated that wrong anyway. Because that's how long it'll take, not when it starts. So yeah, it's really only 3.5 months from now that I have to worry about it. So
Right.
all right, and the other relevant bit is, oh yeah, the other thing was the changing the tree. There's the RD-270. It'd be real nice to use a few of those instead of the rocket I was planning, but it's fine.
I don't know, unless the reliability is significantly better, the 254s are better than the 270.
Oh?
Better ISP, cheaper.
Ah.
Cheaper per kilonewton,
Yeah.
obviously.
Okay, so we could use this for Mars landers. Eventually.
Yep.
I guess I'll get more comms. And then we can finally get some hydrolocks. The RD-57. That'll actually let us go to Mars reasonably. Okay. So we'll let that finish. And roll it out before I forget about it. And unstaff everything. Now, how's our budget looking? That's better, with all our engineers being idle. Um, More knots finishing their proficiency training. Although, once everybody finishes their training, they're going to be ludicrously expensive. Um,
Well, Lunar will start paying for them.
yep. Okay, let's look at Mars 2. It has finished its work around Deimos. It did have that neat little frozen orbit of Deimos. I don't suppose that anybody has one for Phobos.
Phobos seems very doubtful. But I will check.
Yeah.
But yeah, between Phobos being so much closer to Mars and therefore being so much
Yeah.
closer to the Roche limit,
Yep.
could try and land on Phobos.
Oh yeah. I mean, my first stop is I'm landing on Deimos.
Sure. Yeah, no hits for frozen orbit for Phobos.
That's fair. All right, so the main requirement is that we are on the sunny side of Deimos, which we most certainly are not. Oh, are we in Mars Eclipse now? Probably. No. No, the potato's just dark.
Yeah, it would be a C-type asteroid. Makes sense. Carbonaceous asteroid.
Ah.
So dark.
Suicide burn countdown 15 minutes. Cool. There we are, though.
Impact velocity 3 meters per second.
Yeah, probably.
Only way you can mess up this landing is if you bounce.
Yes. Okay. $40 meters. Should have brought legs. I always forget. Not that it really matters.
Yeah. I mean, you're touching down on loosely held together gravel.
Okay. We are in fact landed. Bunch of stuff have invalid situations, but that's okay.
Is there anything on there that was 90 days? I only saw a 30-day one.
Oh, good call, yeah. Yeah, so we'll check back in like 40 days. Give it some slop, because at high warp, it needs a little slop usually. And it's probably going to need more than that because of power constraints.
Mm-hmm. Presumably tidally locked.
I would expect so. So let's check 30 days and 14 days. Okay, so it has a bunch of battery life. We just don't have comms. Okay, now we have comms again. And yeah, all right, that, I guess we don't need the slop. Oh, you can't edit the alarm once you've set it. That's kind of annoying. Forgot about that. Hi, Multires. Because nobody's, I think, done the work to make Cadence Baikonur like easily installable, and that leaves Canaveral as the only pretty space center in RO.
Got the confidence you wanted.
Hmm?
I said you have the confidence you wanted.
Oh, cool. Yep. Easily. All right, let's go to Phobos. And I really hope we don't blow up when we do so. Nope, we're not dead.
Yay.
Nice. All right, let's take off. All right. We are now escaping.
That's pretty.
Yeah, it's a nice little spiral. All right, so now orient to the sun. All right. And let's look in PMO. We'll do a plane change. That's in 22 hours. That's in 6 hours. Okay. All right, that fixes the perf. Flight plan. 6 hours, 57 minutes.
I think it said 47. Oh, but you're doing the plan line thing, right?
Okay. How is that in 4 days and our plan is only 1 day?
No.
Very confusing. Well, let's go the other way. All right, so that's the correct one. There's a 0 meter per second. So now we just need to also, the other thing, oh, that's the other thing we can do. Whoop, too far.
Do you not pin Phobos?
Hmm?
You can see it. Oh, sorry, never mind. It's on the plotting frame selection. No, the other window below that. You can pin Phobos to see it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But it didn't end up showing it. Odd. Okay.
Yep. Well, we can look in MCI. Okay. So there's that.
Doesn't look like you lowered your periapsis enough.
Yeah. So the first maneuver brings it down to there, but I'm refining. I wanted to do it at the ascending node. And let's have a larger plan. Length. Cool. Okay, that's clearer. All right. So we can refine that now. 1 day, 2 hours. Okay, and now bring this down. What is that AN? 12 meters per second. Look at MCI at the last one of these. Okay, this looks like the traditional rendezvous thing I was looking at before. Yeah, that's down to 463 kilometers, which is pretty close, all things considered.
Mm-hmm.
So sure, let's go ahead and fly this series of maneuvers. We'll get reasonably close on planes. So engine reliability is highly dependent on the engine. Like one way you deal with it is you just use better engines. Like a lot of the early engines are fairly unreliable, as you'd expect from the first rocket engines. So tech up, and you should be better off.
Yep. And before that, just plan on launching more than one rocket for every mission, and then grab it if you don't need it.
Yeah.
That is historically accurate. No, it's historically accurate. They just launched both of them, or at least tried to.
Yeah, always a good deal to launch as many rockets as possible on the assumption that we'll fail. Like a lot of the early interplanetary missions had double launches, which I obviously did with this one, which is why there are 2 Mars probes. I got really lucky with the Venus probes, given how much I overburned that engine.
Yeah.
All right, let's see how close we got. All right, it looks like our trajectory is reasonably close, although I'm sure it's not going to be super precise. Yeah, that changed it a little bit. There's the next one in 9 hours. (17 meters per second). All right, I guess that's about as good as it gets. Yeah, we're still fairly close on that. All right, let's go ahead and swing around. Execute the next one of these. And we'll gradually continue to rendezvous with Phobos, which we're 100% planning to do as a rendezvous.
Like how you can see some of the resonances.
Yep. Okay. And now we can go ahead and refine this one. That's the 22-hour one. .31 meters per second. Let's get closer. All right, that'll do. .240 kilometers, and then we can do a final refinement when we get fairly close to it. Let's just have a gander and MCI at what this looks like.
Looks kind of weird, to be honest.
It's because we're not doing an optimal rendezvous.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna approach like there or something.
Yeah.
But I just didn't want to wait longer. And we have enough delta V that I don't care.
Yep. Makes sense.
How much battery life do we have on this? 4 days, so I don't have to care about the sun until we get close. Go back to PMO. Hi, Mars. Okay. Now let's see what we got. Okay. That will work. That's in 13 hours. And why is our why are we so out of whack?
So you did some binormal on your last maneuver.
Yeah, but it screwed us. Or I just did it wrong. That's quite annoying. Oh, I know what's relevant here.
What's that?
13 hours, so we want the one that's near that. 11, yes, we want this one. 11 hours and 48 minutes. Or, no, we actually... Whoa! That was weird. All right, 11 hours and 48 minutes. $69. Yes, okay. That corrects things pretty well.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so we don't actually need that much. Or we do,
But a
sort
different
of.
way, because you were
Yeah.
a different reference frame.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, and let's see if we can be even cheaper.
I don't think it can be cheaper with the binormal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't really see what you're doing from this angle for that
Yeah.
adjustment.
Wrong side. All right, that'll work. Yeah, so this was expensive. I probably could have done this maybe 200 meters per second cheaper. 100 if I had been patient. Not sure.
Yeah, I think there was a screw up with the binormal too that ended up costing you 120.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. Yeah, so probably more like 250.
But it doesn't matter because you'll do the mission and you don't really have much to do with the probe afterwards.
Yep.
Yes, you could briefly take some Mars atmosphere science.
Could do that. Could try to orbit Phobos for a bit.
Station keep that. I think that would end up being very annoying.
Yeah.
I think it would probably be easier just to hop off of Phobos over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's my guess anyway. I mean, we can always see what it looks like in the planner.
Okay, and there's a Phobos orbit. A sort of crazy one.
Yeah. What the heck is that?
Turns out it's a hard potato to orbit.
Yeah, I wonder how long that orbit will last. 3 hours?
No,
That's
that's
better.
2 days. It's because I escape after
Yeah.
a day and change.
Well, it's a day of science. That counts for something. I mean, you won't get all the long-lasting experiments, but
I mean, I figure I'll just land first. We can mess the rest up later. All right, that'll work. So much science. All right. Okay, do I have anything? 4 minutes. All right, visible imaging is an hour. So we get to twiddle this for an hour. Fun. All right, it's still 48 minutes. Okay. So now we're going to go up and then down again.
Yep.
Cool. Whee, down we go. How's this going?
What Bobo's rotating under you?
Yeah. 9 minutes. So we'll give ourselves a little extra time. Okay. This is going to be fairly tilty, but I'm sure we'll be fine.
Yes, if you could find your shadow.
We're fine. We'll be fine. I'm sure we'll be fine.
Kind of landing in a crater.
So we ghost on down.
Are you sure you're landing? Like it's... Yeah.
What the heck? What just happened? Crashed into Phobos. How?
The visible mech was very different from whatever altitude MechGem was reading.
Regardless of the altitude it was reading, I was descending at 0.3 meters per second, so why did I explode?
I don't know.
That was extremely strange.
Maybe the collider was moving toward you somehow.
I mean, it is rotating, maybe.
Yeah, but not that fast.
Yeah.
Nice, nice angle on Mars too. That's picturesque.
Yeah. Yeah. These are always landing on these moons is always pretty nice. All right, we're going to try a different spot and see if that does any better.
The mesh seems to match the altitude better, at least, so.
Maybe. We'll see. I'm still skeptical.
Essentially, and no Mr. Bond.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think this is better. It looks
Maybe.
the altitude is the correct altitude. I'd save it here to see if some sort of delta from the time you load into
Yep.
the time you end up landing.
Well, I see a shadow at least.
Yep, and it does look like it's 9 meters below you.
Yep.
And you avoided the worst of the slopes, so.
Yep. That, I will count that as a success. Phobos' surface. Okay. Turns out the moon isn't the only moon that's hungry.
They're all hungry.
That was so weird. But yeah, the fact KSP is not designed for potatoes.
No, it's not.
All right, we are now sciencing. We are definitely sciencing. 30 days. All right. That was much more successful.
Yep, nice job.
Thank you. It was so freaky when we went through the surface and then exploded.
Yes. I think maybe because we watched it rotate so long, but who knows?
Yeah, it's plausible. All right. So we were wrong about that because we had increased science research rate from science. Where's KB 456 plus 5 to stage rocket engine research speed? Cool. We'll take you. Um, Honestly, I'm not sure we want to keep them as main contractor anymore. Cockpit
Yeah.
parts is useless.
Thanks. That's no, that's not useful.
Oh, that's actually useful. That's extremely useful.
Very.
Don't need
Well,
pressure
can you
fed
take them
engine.
again? I don't think you can take them twice.
I think you can take him as one as main and one as sub,
Okay.
but maybe not.
Just be the all Glushko base program.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, too bad you can't also select them as your admin.
Yeah. All right. So what's our... So our science research efficiency bonus is up to 84%. So we're researching faster, which means we at least have a shot of getting stuff done by their historic dates.
Yeah, you should have been in Cleared Lunar a while ago, unfortunately.
Yep.
I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to call it, by the way.
Yeah, I'm also shot. So I think I'm going to stop there.
Sure. All right, thanks for having me as usual. It was fun seeing you on again.
Yeah, it was great to get back to it. Essentially, thank you. It was the Mars stuff was super pretty. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I will catch you next time. Night.
Good night.